I don't think too many people even know this, but you actually did some illustrations in pre-production for Star Wars. So, and you still have some of that artwork,
Yes.
which I don't think anyone's ever seen before.
Only the people who came into my office. That was when Buck Rogers was on hold at Universal for a TV thing, and I proposed a radical idea that instead of shutting down their special effects facility for each film, that Universal had enough projects going to where we build a special effects facility with stepper motors and so forth, and be able to do multiple films at the same time and keep advancing the technology, but not having to do it over from scratch each time, and gaining experience on how to do it better at the same time. So I proposed several motion control tracks, art departments, and model building facilities. And the first two things from that were Buck Rogers and Battlestar Galactica, but that's another story.
Yeah, well, I think we'll get to that too. So why don't you tell me about these?
Okay. This was in the pre-production stage. George was working on the script, writing parts of the script, and sometimes great swaths of it. And I was really trying to build his enthusiasm for how much fun this could be, and that there could be enough fun to offset the
work,
year's production that it was going to take to do it. So these were just my sketches of early concepts for. This was the first of the X-wing with its wings up, and emphasizing the
gunslinger kind of thing.
Yeah, and it can be a fun thing to be dealing with in space. This one was for what would bolt onto the top of the Spanish Air Force 104s cruising around before it took off.
Oh, interesting. It kind of looks like a little bit like the snowspeeder from Empire Strikes Back, actually. The shape of it.
It's funny how those shapes keep echoing around.
Yeah. So, did you do these before the prototype models?
Yes,
the illustrations first.
That was before that work began at all.
Okay. And so the X-wing one, it looks fairly similar, at least in the overall shape and design. I know the prototype, I think it has like more thrusters, like they're more cylinder-like, right, in the back.
Right. And and that again evolved just as the story of what it should do and so on. This one, in a sense, was to give George a good feel for the quality it can have and the gesture that can be there, and that then we would work more on turning that into 3D and improving it, and the process that was going to be building for him for the whole thing.
Right. And these are done with colored pencils primarily?
Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful work.
Oh, thank you.
There's no right side up in space, right?
Right. But on the screen, you betcha.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so this is the next set here. There's 3 illustrations here.
Right.
Let's talk about the one in the top first, which is like a space battle.
Okay. And that was from one version of what the Imperial cruiser might look like, and the X-Wing might look like, and how they would appear in battle.
Yeah, so this is pretty dramatic. Did George give you any direction on things he wanted to see, or did you just start drawing?
I would draw, and I would want to inspire him.
Yeah. Okay, and then this is another battle scene here.
Yeah, that was the first concept before the production of what the Imperial Star Cruiser might be like.
And then this one
here. This one you recognize from the previous back end shot. And that's what it would be like with its wings collapsed and landing and taking off. Okay. So it can take off and land and be, the guy climbs in with the girl behind him.
Got it.
All that good stuff.
Great. And the last set here. That's the Star Destroyer looking ship again.
Right.
Not in battle.
Right.
And then this is
the X-Wing and explaining the landing and taking off possibility and so on.
Yeah. It's interesting because it's so close to the final look of the ship. And this was really at the beginnings of it all, right?
Yeah.
And then, so were you involved with Star Wars for maybe a year or something?
Oh,
then,
no.
Or?
No.
Not even that long?
No. George had me come talk to him when George was still over at another studio.
Uh-huh.
And said, think about some of the kinds of things that laser battles and stuff like that. And then this project had to be begun with an entirely different studio.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I came over and started doing just these sketches while they were even considering what this was going to be and so forth. And then when George got things together for starting ILM and so on, then that's when we did the plastic models going together. And after that stage, George asked me to start ILM, and I considered it and suggested an alternative, and that was because it was going to be a powerful production series that was going to go on for a long, long time. And I wanted to be involved with a more changing flow that would touch different bases along the way. So I was no longer welcome on the ranch.
Okay. You had interest in sort of, it seems like you're always interested in trying new different things and not be tied down to one sort of repetitive process, I guess.
Yes.
That's one way to put it. Yeah, that makes sense.